Millions of people around the world wondered how this crazy world can reach such an idea in its head. How? Welcome. Let's imagine together that we all fell in 1 minute. During that moment, while we were unconscious, everything on Earth became 100 times larger. Everything has become 100 times larger than its original size. The men became 100 times. Ants have become 100 times larger. It has become 100 times B. Bacteria, germs, the cup from which you drink, the camera you use for photography, everything has become 100 times larger. After that moment, we suddenly woke up. The question is, do we feel any change, or anything strange? Do we notice that our size has become 100 times larger? The answer is no, impossible. Why? Because everything has become 100 times larger, and we have also become 100 times larger. The same cup will remain in the same cup, bacteria will remain the same, and we will never discover anything strange. Now let's assume something else. What if the speed of everything on Earth has become 100 times faster? The heartbeat has become 100 times faster. The ants became 100 times. The leopard has become 100 times faster. Everything has become 100 times faster. Then we woke up from the coma again. Do we feel any change? Do we feel that things are faster? Of course, no, because we are also faster. Scientifically and logic, it is impossible for us to discover anything strange in what happened. But there is one exception. Yes, there is an exception. This exception will be if someone lives in a distant galaxy, and this galaxy was completely fixed, and did not move, and this person was the only person who did not test the same change we made. He could carry a giant telescope and watch the Earth, and saw that everything had become 100 times larger. This is the only exception. But Einstein said this exception is impossible, because there is nothing in the universe fixed. From atoms and electrons to galaxies, everything moves, there is nothing fixed. For example, did you know that now, while sitting on your seat watching me, you think you are not moving, right? The truth is that you move about half a kilometer per second, which is the speed of the Earth's rotation around itself. And of course you are on the ground and spin it. Perhaps the place you sit today, tomorrow it will be in the same place where Johnny Depp sits. Your speed also increases to 30 kilometers per second, which is the speed of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. All this happens while still sitting in your room without moving, from your point of view. Then your speed increases again to 300 kilometers per second, which is the speed of the Sun, along with the entire solar system, as it revolves around the Milky Way. The same galaxy moves, and carries you at a speed of more than 2 million kilometers per hour. All this while sitting there or thinking that you are still, but is this the reality? Certainly no. So what is the solution to this puzzle? How can we know what is fixed and what is moving, as long as everything moves and what we see in reality is fixed? The only solution is to say that all movement is relative. The movement of the Earth for the Sun, the Moon for the Earth, the Sun for the galaxy, and the car for the electricity column, because we do not have any absolute reference point. Let me give you a simple example. Do you remember when we were children we ride a car or a bus, and when the bus moves forward, the trees look like they are moving outside the window. We saw the trees pass when sitting near the window. We thought that the trees moved, or that the electricity column moved, and we wondered how they could move like this. This is what we thought as children in our innocence, but in reality, the bus moved and the tree and columns are fixed. Now let's move on to the idea that the entire universe is one time. This idea was completely destroyed by Einstein. Let me explain. Imagine that I have a friend who lives in our nearest galaxy, Andromeda. This galaxy is located about 1.5 million in light. 1 light year equals about 9.4 trillion kilometers. These distances cannot even be calculated on a calculator, just forgetting. Imagine now I take my phone and want to contact my friend and say hello. How long will the word take to reach my friend in Andromeda? Just the word hello. Here is the answer. I will die, analyze, and turn into oil, and after thousands of years, new creatures may extract me on the ground and use me in some of the flight plate, and until then the word hello has not yet reached it. Why? Because the universe is so vast that it is impossible for me and my friend coincided. This means that it is impossible for me to say hello and receive it at the same moment, even if the signal is transferred to the speed of light. But this synchronization was found on the ground. For example, I have a night here, while I have a friend in Norway Sabah. Take my phone and send a message to my friend on WhatsApp, ask what he does, and he answers that he eats pizza. In fact, yes, at the same moment when the message was sent to him, he was eating pizza, and sending me a picture. Although he was in the morning and we had at night, we had the same time. This is why we have time on Earth is not the same time in Andromeda. The time is not one. The truth is that every body or movement has its own time. You may say impossible. I will say yes, and I have proven this experience. Einstein was the first to refer to this relationship between place and time. This idea changed our understanding of classic physics completely, which is why it really deserves its popularity. For example, Here on Earth, today he has 20-4 hours. But in Saturn, today only 10 hours, because Saturn is walking faster than the ground. But on Mercury, today is equal to 2,112 hours, or 80 days of Earth. This proves that the time on the ground is different from the time of Saturn and differs from the time of Mercury. Time is linked to movement. But to what level of movement? Here, Einstein says, assume that you are riding a spacecraft that moves 100,000 miles per hour. Did you know that the time for you inside the ship will slow down? Everything for you will be slower, even your time, until the heartbeat. You will not feel that, because everything in you will slow down. The faster the speed, the more slow and the most extensive. This is called expansion of time. As the speed increases, the time slows and extends until it reaches the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second, where the time stops. It may seem strange, stops time. You may say, how can the time slow down? Did you take some crazy missile fuel, man? But it is not strange, because a real scientific experience was conducted to prove this. In 1971, scientists put an hour on a jet plane. But not only any hour, not a wall clock or wristwatch. It was an atomic watch, also called the radium watch, capable of measuring 1,000,000 seconds, with one margin of 1 second every 30 years. They put one atomic watch on the plane and another on the ground. 1 hour was moving at a high speed, and the other is still. When compared, scientists were shocked. The clock was on the plane slower than the watch on the ground. This was confirmed by Einstein's statement that the greater the speed, to stop the time. This is one of the foundations of relativity theory. The amazing thing is that Einstein only reached this conclusion with chalk and equations, and when experiments were conducted, each equation was properly proven. This proves that the place and time are one entity. This is completely different from what we used to believe, but it is the truth. This is what Einstein discovered after thought, effort, and equations for a long time, and thus became the fourth dimension. Now I know that you are asking, just like millions of people around the world, how can this crazy world reach such an idea? Was an inspiration. Nobody knows how he managed to think about this. With chalk only in the black plate, without experiments, discover the secret. For the same reason, Newton discovered gravity. Remember, Newton's apple did not actually fall on his head, but near him. He saw the apples falling from the tree to the ground and wondered, why did it fall and not rise? What pulled him down? This is when he thought about gravity. We all saw that apples fall, and rain, but we have never asked why they fell, not. It was clear to us, but for Newton it was strange. The same thing happened with Einstein. We all know that the speed of light is always 300,000 kilometers per second, even if a light source moves. Suppose we have a missile with a lamp on his head, and the missile flies at the speed of light while running the lamp. The lamp lights 300,000 kilometers per second, and the missile moves itself at the same speed. Regularly, we expect the total speed to be 600,000 kilometers per second, but the shock was that the light was still moving at 300,000 kilometers per second. Even if the missile itself is moving at the speed of light, the light did not change its speed. Einstein's mind could not accept this at first. How can the speed of light remain fixed in 300,000 even if the source itself is moving? It should be logical 600,000. Why remain 300,000? Einstein continued to think until he found the reason. The only possible explanation is that the speed slows the time. The more the speed, the slower time, until the speed of the light, the time stops. Beyond that, we enter eternity. You may say this is impossible, it's madness, but it is the truth. Think about that. Why are the angels and the soul described as beings of light? You may have opened a new door to think about this topic. Anyone has a comment, please leave it below the video. I would like to hear your thoughts. And do not forget to love the video if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you after that.